Joining us live from Paris is co-deputy of the Greens Party, Senator Larissa Waters. Larissa, are you with us?
I am. I've just been listening to your hilariousness. Well done.
Well, I think we have to get our volume levels checked. Otherwise, it's going to be. We can communicate via. We can write messages down if we can. I think that's a low carbon footprint way of conducting an interview, isn't it?
How are you, Larissa?
Oh no, I don't know what to do. I'm toast.
Perfect. Larissa, give us a thumbs up if we're going good over in Paris.
Oh.
Oh no.
Not so good.
Okay, Larissa, it's great to have
Not so
you
good.
here.
The rest of the world.
Larissa, thanks
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. You can hear us?
Great. I can.
Oh, great. There was live TV, a Skype interview from Paris. It was always going to work. Now, now, guys. Larissa, we are not climate skeptics here at the Leak, but we are climate alarmists. So, when are we going to die?
Oh, goodness me. Well, this is the problem. The rest of the world is facing serious consequences from climate change now, and we've still got a government that thinks that it's maybe not even caused by human beings and certainly not caused by coal, which they think is good for humanity. So I'm afraid, as you pointed out, I think the 20% of Australians who are sceptics are mostly in the parliament. So this is a bit of a challenge for us.
Larissa, I have a question. As you just mentioned, our government are not particularly forward-thinking on climate change. Are we a bit of a laughingstock in Paris?
Look, this is a bit depressing to admit, but we really are. There's a fabulous sense of momentum here, and there's been a lot of goodwill from most of the other nations around the world having decent science-based targets, or at least certainly an improvement on what they used to be. And there's been some real good commitments to increase climate finance, to support developing nations, to adapt to and mitigate climate change. So there's been a real sense of the global ball rolling towards a clean energy economy and tackling global warming. And Australia's massively bucked that trend. We came out saying, no, we're keeping Tony Abbott's climate policies, which are less than 1/3 of what the science says we should do in terms of reducing pollution. We put a really, really small amount of money on the table for climate finance, for supporting developing nations, such an insultingly small amount that is also coming out of the already depleted foreign aid budget. The government couldn't even find new money to help our regional neighbours when our activities are effectively causing sea levels to rise and inundate their very homes and their food producing land. And then we didn't sign up to a communique that said we would phase out fossil fuel subsidies. So the government's just basically saying, we love coal, we're still going to use public money to prop it up, we don't really accept the science, and it's been a total embarrassment because it's well out of step with the rest of the countries that are here at the conference.
Larissa, is there anything salvageable here? Are we looking at any positives? Could we see any meaningful outcomes come out of this?
Look, I think there will be a good outcome here in Paris, certainly better than previous climate conferences. As I mentioned, the targets that countries around the world have put on the table, they don't get us to 2 degrees of warming, which is considered the guardrail for after which, basically we're stuffed. They don't quite get us there, but they get us much closer than we had been. So effectively there's a pathway that's working well, and I think ultimately at the end of next week there will be an agreement that says, yes, we're going to commit to these targets, there'll be some climate finance, and importantly there'll be an agreement, I think, for a 5-year review mechanism, which is really important because it means that countries can begin that transition to clean energy. Many other countries have already begun that transition and continue on that path, and then increase our ambitions in 5 years' time. So long story short, I think we will get an agreement here in Paris. I think it will be not an incredibly ambitious agreement, but a solid one, and one on which I think the world will build. And I think in the nick of time, globally, we will meet the challenge of global warming. But Australia really is at the back of the pack at the moment, and I don't think that reflects the wishes of the Australian community. I think we get global warming, we know what's at stake, and we know the opportunities for making that clean energy transformation. We know it means we can save the Great Barrier Reef, we can generate tens of thousands of jobs in renewable energy, and actually start being a leader in that area, because we've got some of the best sunshine in the world, and we're an island, for goodness sake, so we've got great opportunities.
Well, thanks, Larissa. Thanks so much for joining us from Paris, taking time out to chat to us. Really appreciate you coming on board, and good luck for the rest of the conference.
Thanks so much. Good night, guys.